Hi there, hey there everybody. I am a very amateur fish breeder. I've been doing this for less than 2 years and I barely know what I'm doing. I didn't get into this thinking, hey, I'm going to start breeding fish. I just got some fish and next thing I know they're having babies. So here I am with multiple tank syndrome. Oh yeah. Thank God for auctions, otherwise I would have spent a lot more on these things. So let's get to some cichlid breeding. That right there is a red shoulder. The breeder I got it from called it a red shoulder Mbuna, but some people in the fish community are telling me he is a red shoulder half, and I believe that is more accurate. Here we have a little red female. I believe she is a German red. I got that from another person in my fish community, and these two are about to start breeding. They have been breeding for a while. I put the light on them. They liked it in the dark. As soon as I put the light on them, they both kind of turned around and looked at me like, "Hey there, guy, what are you doing?" But here in a second, you'll see them actually breeding. African cichlids are mouth brooders. That means that the female lays the eggs into the sand, or in this case, the rocks, and then the male fertilizes those eggs, and they swim in circles and do a little shaka, and then the female picks up the fertilized eggs into her mouth until those eggs come to term and become fry. That's generally about 10 days. In this case, it would have been about 10 days, but I found this female dead in my tank a day or two after this happened. This is probably her fourth or fifth brood. Later on in the video you'll see some fry at about a year old, year and a half or so, year to a year and a half, and about 6 months old or so. But here, yeah, this is them breeding right now. She's dropping eggs, he's fertilizing those eggs, and then she's scooping them up into her mouth. This breeding session went on for about 12 hours this evening. There's a good shot of her dropping the eggs and a good shot of her picking those eggs up into her mouth. If you've got African cichlids and you're wondering if you missed seeing the breeding and wondering if a female is holding, the way that you can tell is their jaw becomes distended, their mouths kind of puff out. They'll also want to hide away from other cichlids, and they'll also most likely be wanting to hide away from you. Their number one priority is protecting themselves so that their young is protected. And they also won't eat. So if you're feeding your tank and you see that some fish just aren't eating, you've likely got a holding female. And then after some breeding action, they'll swim around for a while. I cut it out, but it was about 5 minutes or so, maybe 10 minutes in this circumstance, and then they go back to it. And this goes on for several hours. So I know a lot of people have some strong opinions about crossbreeding. The purpose of this crossbreeding is to bring out a particular breed. In this case, I haven't decided yet. They're going to be called sunburst cichlids or something along those lines. They come out looking really beautiful. When they start to color up, it's bright yellows, very bright, vibrant yellows, bright oranges, and I kind of wish that they just stayed with those bright yellows and bright oranges because they are just spectacular looking. Here's some more of this very good shot of them breeding away. And that as they mature and as those colors come in, those bright colors give way to a deep dark blue with lots of orange and red, sometimes yellow highlights, and sometimes black highlights. There's a couple of them with black highlights. So there you have it. That's African cichlids breeding, and here we'll take a look at some 6-month-old fry. This particular setup wasn't the best. It was by some exposed brick, which got cold, and I have a new setup, which you'll see at the end of the video. It's much better. These guys here are from that same pair. This is one of her most recent broods. This is 2 of them, and there's about, a dozen or so in there. And then here, this is a mix of the first 2, or maybe even the first 3. I'm sorry that the lighting's so bad in this, but you can start seeing some of the coloration in these guys, like that one right there. You see his head he's got a blue mouth, and then his head is kind of a reddish orange if I pan back to it, right about there. He's got some good egg spots on him, with the rest of his body being kind of a darker blue. There's another one with some good colors. I've got a beautiful light in there on one side of the tank, but they, especially when I come near, they don't like to be near that light. As you'll see in a second, half of the tank is just completely empty. But these guys here, they're about a year to a year and a half old, getting to the point where they also can breed. But I think what I'm going to probably do, that German Red is now gone, and the only thing that's left is her babies here, probably about 3 dozen or so of them. I'll be using them to breed as stock, and then I will continue to use the red shoulder hap. That is what it is. If you know what those fish are, please leave a comment. And then I will also probably be trying, likely unsuccessfully, but be trying to include a yellow lab in that, so that we have some other species being added to this breed, so that it's a strong breed. And once that is set, then those 3 will strictly be what is bred for the sunburst cichlids, or whatever I may call them. So here's a look at my new setup. If you have any questions about how this is built, let me know. I could make a video about it, because I'm probably going to build another one here soon. Here's my my big tank with it's not really that big of a tank. It's a 75 gallon, but it's the biggest tank that I got. And those are the major sires that I have in there for use with these, making this breed happen for everybody. If you're interested in these fish, let me know. If you like the video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. I let out videos every once in a while. I also do some cryptocurrency mining and some videos on that too. Thanks for watching, God bless, and have a wonderful day.